Hello. I was here at Tpull's Corner, and our opponent is of game. I was away for a day. My family took me out for my birthday. There were numerous meals, pinball games, an entire day of activities. So I'm back here to do anything. So I hope you all forgive me. Let's see what we can do today. I think we want to go get some more land. We've got a lot of land in this deck. And they already have massive creatures. Great. Let's see if we can match them quickly. Land, more land, please. And we'll just attack with Greater Tanuki here. It's got trample, and they take it. I like that. Now, if they don't have a way to get rid of Branch of Besiege, it's only going to get stronger as we go along here. Like so. But we use it just for defense. Wait and see if they have a comeback tactic that'll take out... No! Tanuki hits them again! How dare you! We introduce you to the Copper Host Crusher. I feel like you have to block now, which means you're not going to get to transform that thing. Why? Because you didn't get enough land. And that's the name of the game today, player of game. Land, and more land. And now we take the kid gloves off. Both of them have trample. They kind of got a triple block the Host Crusher, right? Are you gonna... What are they doing? I don't know why they bothered to do it that way. That only gives them one turn. You can't possibly come back with 6 mana. My bank account far outstrips yours now. All you have is a blob. All of my stuff has trample. Game, set, and match. Victory, victory. And now I will show you the entire deck. If you're new, remember to subscribe. No matter who you are, we like you to like, so click the like button. This is called Journey by Land because I was having so many problems with the regular standard 24 lands that the arena gives you all the time. I would either be mono-starved, they'd give me 2 lands and nothing else for 3 or 4 turns, sometimes as much as 7 turns, or they would flood me out with land. So I made a couple of decks. One was mono-red, had 16 lands in it. The other was mono-white, it had 16 lands in it. They did phenomenally well. So in this case, I went the opposite route. I added in extra lands. So I went to 28 lands, which is, usually you hear, you know, the advice is 24 to 27 lands. So 28 is madness. And look at that. Average mana cost is 3.9. We're expensive. But here's what I was thinking. Where are you? Azusa's Many Journeys. If you've been a watcher of this channel for a while, you know I have a love-hate relationship with this card. Because I would love for it to work for me from the beginning chapter. And I have a less than 50% success rate with having that additional land when I'm ready to play this card. But my opponents always seem to have like 70-80% success rate. So I overstocked with land so I can always make good on this so I can ramp. And most of the cards in here are ramp cards. And if you look, all I've got is 11 creatures, which is like half of what I usually have. So what do we got? We got Atraxas Fall, get rid of artifact battles, enchantments, creatures with flying. We got 4 of these Azusa's Many Journeys. We've got 1 Cosmic Hunger to deal damage equal to that of another. Let's see, we've got 1 Invasion of Ixalan to go get a couple more lands. Shigeki that we can bring back up to our hand and get some lands, and anything that's not a land we could get back later by channeling Shigeki. 2 Fight Riggings with Hideaway, so we can, when we first play it, we get to choose a card from the top 5 cards and stick it under Fight Rigging. And then at the beginning of combat, we get a +1/+1 counter on any target creature we want. If we get to a creature that's got power 7 with that counter, then whatever card we stuck under the Hideaway, we get to play for free. 1 Fog of War, you don't see people using this card normally. Gain 1 life for each creature on the battlefield, prevent all combat damage to what you dealt this turn by creatures with power 3 or less. So I'm looking at the small swarms that come up at us while we're still ramping. Maybe I'll be able to give us an extra turn for tempo. Jewel Thief, 3/3 with Vigilance and Trample. We get a treasure token, so still more ramp, even though it's not another land. It's just as good. 1 Jugan defends the temple. We get a monk, then we can add counters, and then we get the Remnant of the Rising Star. You see to the right the Dragon Spirit, and it's going to be awesome. 4 of the Weatherseed Treaty to go get more basic lands for the most part. We don't care about Domain as much because it only gives us +1, but it does give us Trample. So for creatures that don't have Trample that we make big, we get Trample for a turn with that. Besieger is more ramp, getting 2 forest cards at the beginning. Then if we thrown any away, we can put them back in our top of our graveyard for Chapter 2. And then the Branch becomes +1 for each land you control. And since we've got 28 lands, that's more than usual, so the Branch should get big. 1 Cartographer's Survey to look at the top 7 and get a couple lands. 1 Expand the Sphere to look at the top 6 cards and get up to 2 lands. See the pattern. Creatures, Avabrook Caretaker, Hexproof and adding counters. 4 Greater Tanukis, you see we can discard it to go get land early on, and then when we have enough to full cast, we just full cast it. 1 Zopendrel, the legendary Phyrexian Horror, 4/6 with Reach, so we do have something against flyers. And we can double the power and toughness of each creature at the beginning of each combat. 2 Cultivator Colossus, their power and toughness are also equal to the number of lands you control. When it enters the battlefield, you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield too, and if so, you get to draw another card. If it's a land, you can put it down again and just keep drawing cards as long as you place lands down. Cobberose Crusher, Trample, and Hexproof. 8/8 Bear Rhino. Who's seen a Bear Rhino before? Nice. Okay, we got 4 Hunter's Mates for card draw, 1 Field of Ruin, and a couple of Besieges for more artifacts and enchantments. And that's it. We, instead of going to 16 lands, I didn't go to 32 lands. I didn't double down, but I did go 4 over. And a lot of people grumble when they feel like they have to do that because they feel like they're missing out on 4 spells. But in our case, we just ran to ramp up and get to these big creatures. And look, we can make Azusa's Many Journeys good on turn 2 already. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm anxious to try this out against Mono Red. So let's see what happens here. Partly because these Azusa's Many Journeys, you gain 3 life, so if they're trying to come at us, that life gain will also give us a little bit of time. Oh, don't destroy it now. I need my creature. They can really destroy that any time, right? They've got 1 mana. They don't need to tap. It doesn't do me any good to play Cosmic Hunger. If they feel like destroying that, they can. I think we just attack, yeah? We wait for them to decide if they're going to trigger it or not. What are you looking at? Really? Now you're going to sacrifice it to get rid of Likeness of the Seeker. I've got Trample, so... Oh, you don't go after the Seeker? Oh, that was a mistake. They could have destroyed the enchantment creature. Now I still have a 3/3 down here. Howling Moon. I'm glad they put down Howling Moon. Okay. You lose 1 creature, but you're going to lose your enchantment. You give them a chance to match us with land, which is kind of unusual already. But with this thing, if opponent casts their second spell, they get a 2/2 Green Wolf creature token, and it never fails. If they leave Howling Moon up and it gets to stay for 3 or 4 turns, I'm going to forget about that. So, we have to nip that in the bud. Extra land, I kind of expected that. I'm kind of expecting a lot of regular land draws. Primal Adversary. Okay. They're going to pay for the land. It could come out tapped if they do, right? Go ahead and get those 2. We'll go ahead and attack. They fall for it. We get to untap some lands. And then I get to use Cosmic Hunger to go ahead and attack them. They're tapped out, so we don't need to worry about them saving it. We lose our creature, but we got rid of their 5/4. The problem with these type of decks is they usually have pretty fast creatures. But if they're small, maybe we can still... No, never mind. What was I saying about them being small? Only 5 for that Vorinclex. and they get to ramp with it. Maybe I should have that in my deck. I looked at it, but I didn't take it. And this is the hazard, that you could just end up drawing too many lands out of all of it. I wanted mono red, not this. And this isn't the pre-made either. The pre-made doesn't have Vorinclex in it. Isn't that the case? These guys, they face me, they get enough land, and they get all their massive creatures. 1, 2, 3 massive creatures in a row, and I don't even get one. Just like the old days. I can use Fog of War. I won't gain any life, but it'll save me a couple points of damage. And look, I still can't make Azusa's Many Journeys good. I still whiff on it. I'm not sure how good a game that was. My draw was terrible. Yeah, we'll try again. Most of the time there should be enough that I can ramp for the land and still get something good out and keep it out. Alright, we start with the Weather Seed. We see if they have counter spells. This is a kind of innocuous spell, but they do use their Make Disappear. It makes sense. If you've got to Make Disappear, those might not be as good later. You tapped out, so you can't stop the Besieger. Oh, hello. So they're going to make good on this serpent, right? I can't really stop that. But we can't take out the Forge. Well, they're tapped out. And let's go ahead and go get another land. There's an argument that I've got enough land already and I can just full cast the Tanukis. But I feel like speed is of the essence here. They're certainly doing whatever they can. Alright, non-creature spells now have Convoke, which means they can cast some really big stuff. Let's see what we can do here. They're tapped out. This is our chance, basically. They go digging. They cast it again. And they'll be able to transform this, right? But is that enough? Are we really afraid of that? Oh, they've got a furnace rains. That is a little bit troublesome, isn't it? Jin Gitaxius. They have 2 mythic rare predators on the field at the same time? It's disgusting. Look at that. That shows you the power of Convoke. They did what they could. It's not too shabby. You're only going to attack with my creature. I'm going to take it. Do they have a counterspell? I feel like I can't afford to attack now. Okay, so if we resolve all of that, auto pay, auto pay. Okay, we don't have the additional land, we just have the regular 1 land. But we can go get Besiege Reaches Skyward. As long as that's not another counterspell, we can get the 2nd land and make good on the card. My issue is if they have another Furnace Rains, then I'm in trouble. Okay, no attacks. We're very low in life. The problem is they're going to turn this into the Enchantment Saga, aren't they? They do nothing. They are not ready. Okay. Ooh, let's put that on top of our graveyard. Or on top of our library. Let's just cast this like regular. Put down a land. Let's attack with the Trampler. They're gonna take it? Nice! I feel a little better. That thing can't block. And just more land. Can you really afford... Oh, they can't. Oh, I was kind of worried there. I mean... Ugh. 2 Mythic Rare Phyrexian Praetors. I guess the cards just didn't break their way for the instants or sorceries. If they'd had another good spell, that could have put the end of us. Big creatures for the win. I wonder if there's something in the way that this deck is configured that we're just not going to come up against mono red aggro. Let's go one more. So going from 24 to 28 lands, I think you've always got the possibility of flooding out. Especially, I've got a ton of ramp cards in here, and the one thing that can happen in a deck like this is you can just spend all your time ramping, because that's all the spells you draw. But if the only thing you do for the entire match is ramp, you're going to die. The nice thing is we've got so much land, we should always start with at least 3. And if I'm starting this way, then I'm not really going to complain when they give me the expensive cards either. Because it's kind of a relief that I already have at least one of those for when I'm going to be ready. The question is, can you get to it fast enough? And they did nothing for 3 turns, so we have a chance. They can just destroy this. Which I kind of expected there. I think we ramp here. We can still do the siege on that. Okay, so it becomes a 3/3, and it's a defender only. No, it's got vigilance. It's a fungus that can attack. It's a fungus rabbit. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of this, so we don't have to deal with it anymore. And let's go ahead and ramp some more. This lets us cast Up and Drill the next turn. We can take a couple of early hits. Oh, actually, change of plans. Fight rigging. Hello. We want expand the spear, and we can still cast Besieger Root to Skyward. That's nice. And we get to expand the sphere right away. We did hit for 2 lands, just barely. Puts Besieger up to a 10/10. Beat that. I don't actually want you to beat it, I'm just teasing. And they see we've got a couple of lands, so they know this is only going to grow every single turn. They don't know how much it's about to grow. Oh, hello. They didn't put all of the counters on one. Let's put this on top of our land. On top of our library, rather. We'll put down Zopendrel. Go to combat. Double the power and toughness. Let's put the counter on Zolfendrel. And we attack with a 22-22. I feel like you have to chump block that. And we would be correct. And here I was thinking that mono green was having problems. Actually, it wasn't mono green. Mono green tends to do well with this kind of strategy. It's when I've seen other colors combined, sometimes we have trouble. Okay, they want to do that. Can I do anything to stop that? I don't think so. I think they get that one. That's fine. We're getting another branch. Don't have to worry about having creatures with power 2 or less. Keep Besieger for any big surprises, and Trample Hexproof to the rescue. I don't cancel that yet. We want to use, let's make this 13-13, which puts it just beyond the ability of the tapped out opponent to kill it if they double block. They have to chump block again with Chomp and Kavu, and Kavu is toast. We still haven't touched them yet. They've been able to chump block each time. Why is this out here? Exile it. They can put 2 counters on a creature. Okay. Oh, hello. Not a bad card. Not enough to beat a 13-13, but not a bad card. Oh, nice. If you have a combat trick, I don't think it's going to work now. You have to block at least 1. Double blocking will not save you. And they give up the ghost. They didn't have anything to deal with it. Hello? What's up? You're having a good day? Watching a movie. Okay, forgive the radio silence. That was the wife calling to say she loves me. I had to take that. All right, this is the deck. It worked out nice. We still managed to whiff on one of Azusa's many journeys, so I guess we're not at 100%, but we're doing much better than we were with that card. And Besieger Reaches Skyward is the other enchantment saga that is a perfect complement to this kind of strategy, and I kind of liked including these other ramp cards too. And you have other choices, I think, on what you could put in here. It's really nice when Averbrook Caretaker comes out. I only have one copy, but she is a real bomb. And Cultivated Colossus, sometimes you can get even better, even bigger if you get a really lucky on getting a lot of land flood. Which it's nice sometimes. Normally when you're playing with the deck, you hate the idea of getting flooded with land. This is the one time when you cast this card where you're like, you're almost praying to get flooded with land. And that's it's very strange sometimes to get into some areas of Magic where the things that you normally dread, you're actually preferring to get. So a little bit shows a little bit of the variety of the game. Anyway, leave me comments to let me know what you think of the deck, and we'll have another deck for you next time that's new. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.